Hey guys, this is John.
And Austin.
And this is another episode of the Meatgisitcs podcast. We're heavy on the meat portion of that, less on the logistics side, more on the meat side.
That's okay.
We've got a bunch of samples of stuff to try, and then something to talk about. And that
didn't happen.
Didn't hit the ground, though.
I caught it.
Austin tried to throw a piece of sausage in his mouth, and it bonked off his nose or something. What we've got here, we have Hawaiian heat wave from Clouds. Clouds is nice enough to send us some of their sausage for Bratfest so that we could sell it and then donate the money to Wichita Air Capital Flyers Special Olympics team. But we had a little problem with a health inspector who didn't want us selling this because of an inspection bug not being there or something.
Yeah, we screwed something up.
Yeah, whatever. But that allows us to eat it. And this is pretty darn good sausage.
I'm impressed. I'm normally not a fan of pineapple things, Hawaiian things. It was, I think it was the live stream while you were gone, when you were fishing, goofing off,
doing something.
Yeah. We had a couple of different people request for like a couple of different pineapple brought things.
I was there for that one.
You were there for that one?
Uh-huh.
Okay. But like when I first hear stuff like that, I just dismiss it. And I'm like, oh, I don't even want to know. But this is
good.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
It's got nitrites in it, so it's nice and pink.
Professional fat guy. The way this sausage just holds up right now. Take a bite out of it. Like it's not all mushy, like very still circular every bite, but not too chewy. The casing is a perfect house for the meat inside, let me tell you.
So that was, what did we say? A fat guy's review?
Professional fat
guy. I like it. Yeah, very, very tasty. Big fan of that. Luckily, we have more packages, so some of those will be coming home with me. Do you have anything else you want to add about it?
Just that I'm going to keep eating. Like a lot of times we sit here and like you keep eating and I just kind of, I eat some. This is going to be gone.
This is the first thing I've eaten all day, though, because I've been fasting to dinner every day. And obviously on Wednesdays, I won't be doing that.
Yeah. So
expect my food intake during these podcasts to go way up.
Great.
All right. Then we've also got a couple other things. Kurt Carter, our longest tenured salesman, was out on his route recently, and he stopped by Allwell's. A couple months ago, we had some dry cured sausage to try from, I can't remember the name, and I apologize to Allwell's for that right now, but they have, or is it Kurzweil's?
Could have been either or.
Could have been either one of those. I'm pretty sure it was Allwell's, though. But they have a section of their, it's either Kurzweil's or Allwell's, has a section of the company specifically that focuses on Salumi. And so we have 3 new ones to try. We also got a bag of their beef jerky. And I just, being above board here, there were 3 pieces in here. And now there's only 4 or only 2.
Oh, it says Allwell's on the bag, so.
Well, that one does, but that's not necessarily these.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this is a beef jerky from them. It is Kicking Cajun, small batch beef jerky. It says all natural, no MSG, no nitrites added. And it's got that little plus symbol that says to look at the bottom of the bag, and it says except for those occurring naturally in celery juice. So it's got celery juice.
I hate that even small processors are doing that now.
Why? They can charge idiots more.
I wish we could just put SureCure in it and call it a day.
We can.
True.
That's very good. It's nice and tender. But even with this, they're doing the same thing that we are. Beef, water, brown sugar.
Yep.
So it really is. I've been thinking a lot recently on a way to try to make that tender jerky with less brown sugar. I'm making a batch tomorrow for Zubilee, and then also I'm going to grab Kelsey, one of the newer customer service agents, and run her through that as well. And I was thinking, like, what if I run it through our tenderizer attachment to the grinder? Like, that'll break it up a little bit more. But I still, because it's Zubilee, I think I'm just going to go and do our regular process. And then I'll at some point try a smaller batch with just that and less sugar.
Or just, I don't know, how hard would it be to do your normal thing on most of it, but just pull out a few slices and tenderize them and just do it, keep it.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Okay.
All right. Allwell's jerky is very good.
Delicious.
It's very, very good jerky. It is $7 for 3 ounces. Okay. So 5.5 of these servings per pound. So you're talking $40 a pound for jerky they're able to charge. That's not bad.
No. I mean, to be honest, that's kind of what I'd say is an expected price nowadays. I was just talking with Dylan yesterday. Dylan's, for those that don't know, my brother, VP of sales. Other brother. He was talking with one of our commercial salesmen and giving them grief for what their jerky costs and how much it was per pound. Just ribbing him, joking with him. And Dylan was like, well, yeah, I can go to Menards and buy it for $20 a pound. And the guy just lost it. He's like, oh, come on. That's not even the same. Because you can go get cheaper jerky. It's not going to be the same. It's still jerky. It's still edible. It still might be good, but it's not good.
It won't have the tenderness or the depth of flavor that has, because that is hitting every note. And a lot of times when you get cheaper jerky, it's 1, stringy, so it's a little bit, or it's very hard to chew, and 2, it's just overloaded with salt, and that is not. So
the more tender it is too, the easier time I have with my teeth and not having to pick out pieces and go back with a flosser because I got a piece that's just absolutely wedged in there. So
I don't remember if we said the Hawaiian breeze or Hawaiian heat was from Clouds. That was from Allwell's, and I'm pretty sure this is from Allwell's too, just to make sure. All right, so we've got 3 different ones here. I want to start with the one I want to try the least, and Austin's initial reaction to it was, that looks dirty. So this is an Italian meatball salami, and it is coated on the outside in cornmeal. So
that cornmeal looks awkward. So for those watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see some of this. I thought my arm was going to get sliced there. That was scary. But I'm sure it'll taste fine. I don't know. That look is not good.
So they coated the outside of it with cornmeal.
I know it's going to taste good, but sometimes the way that like a dried sausage looks is not the most appetizing thing in the world. And this fits that category. Just the cornmeal's, it looks weird.
The texture of it is not good either. Like, not of the sausage, of the cornmeal on the outside. Like, it's a little gritty. I don't like that. The taste of the Italian meatball salami is actually quite good. I'm going to real quick rinse a piece off and see what that does.
Minus the cornmeal texture, just being different. I like the texture of the meat. I like the flavor of the meat.
The meat's great.
It's a really good sausage.
So it's hard to get the cornmeal off.
But the appearance, just not what I'm used to. But once you try it, the appearance will not stop me from eating it now. And John's going to wander around the room looking for a paper towel.
Yeah, so you can't get the cornmeal off. You can't get the cornmeal off, really. But the taste of the sausage by itself is quite nice, actually. So
very good.
They are Italian meatball salumi. This is Mexican mole salami. So a Mexican mole sauce is like a chocolate type of sauce. So I'm real interested to try this.
I had some of that sauce randomly in my pantry. And I took a picture of it to do like a Google search or whatever that new feature is. It's like I use it all the time around random people's homes. I go, that looks like it might be worth money or a collectible. Let me find out. And I just whip out my phone. So I did it with this just to get an idea of what it was, because the packaging was in Spanish. And it was like $130 for this thing, like less than the size of a Hershey's bottle of chocolate. Yeah, it was like some rare or whatever authentic.
This is in your
expensive-
pantry?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
When I
Do
moved,
we-
I threw it like, hey, buy this expensive, maybe old chocolate mole kind of sauce that I know nothing about. It's foreign, you know. I don't think I'd get what I want out of it.
So we have a sausage. Do we still have chocolate chili bratwurst?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a sausage chocolate chili bratwurst, and the closest thing that I explain it to is like a mole. And this is similar to that.
Mhm.
It's good. It's got a good flavor. Definitely some chocolatey-ish notes. Certainly some Mexican spices to it.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting flavor profile. I like it, but that's something you don't find out there very often. Very unique, but very good.
All right. Last one is a dry cured Lebanon bologna. I'm sure Patrick will want to come up and try some of this. Okay. See what this is like.
This?
No, go ahead. I don't think bologna and dry cured go together well. I'm not a fan of that. Like, it definitely has a bologna flavor to it, but I don't like it.
I don't know. I can't pinpoint what's in it. Is it like, is there like maple syrup in it?
It's Lebanon bologna seasoning. That's what will be in it. No, Lebanon bologna sometimes. I mean, we like to add extra red pepper when we make our Lebanon bologna. I think it works really well. But without it, that's kind of what it tastes like. So nothing against them for making it. I'm sure they made it correctly. I just don't care for the taste of it.
Yeah, it's very sweet. I mean, I like it. I feel like I've had it before and I can't really place what it is, but
Well, because it's very similar in taste to our Lebanon bologna.
no, this is different.
Right. No, it's definitely different because it's dry cured.
No. But I mean, like, I'm having a breakfast association with it. I'm trying to sift through pastries that I've had.
He said
before.
maple syrup.
That's what I mean. I definitely pick up on that, but
I didn't pick up on that, but okay.
I don't know. Yeah, it's not. If it's not maple syrup, it's something breakfasty, like you're saying, Patrick. But it's different. I would prefer a sausage that's got some red pepper in it. That would be probably my proclivity on something like that. But it's still good. I wouldn't go as far as you and saying I don't like it, but I like it, but not necessarily in my wheelhouse. But it's still good.
Yeah, when I say I don't like it, I just don't like the flavor of it. It's an incredibly well-made sausage, and I'm sure that it's way better made than what we have going on back in here.
no, that sausage is a jerk. You hang out with him for 2 minutes.
So
It's looking good back there too.
for those of you watching on YouTube, and if you're just listening, I encourage you to go to YouTube. We have what is hopefully going to be our dry curing cabinet on the back shelf in the back of our kitchen. And in that is some dry cured sausage I made. I used the pepperoni seasoning, pork butts, and then I used TSPX as the culture. We recorded doing everything because we're obviously going to make videos out of this. Hopefully when we come to an agreement to brand this as us. And it's been sitting in there for not that long, since after Bratfest. It's only been in there a week. Oh, I'm never gonna make it. I'm never gonna make it.
I just asked. I was like, how long do we
I thought it'd been in there at least 3 weeks.
No. Yeah, it's barely been in there a week.
Does it have a lock on the front so you can really...
It does.
Oh man, we might have to use that.
But I would have the keys, so
No, you won't.
Oh, I can chain it closed. Put a fingerprint reader on it.
I've been opening it like 10 times a day, so...
how attached to your fingers are you? Eventually, I'm gonna need to get in there.
Yeah, not attached.
Opening it releases the worst smell that is also the best smell.
Oh,
It
interesting.
is dirty feet smell is how some people say it. Dylan said, Terry Hauser up at Iowa State said it's like a big, real hairy dog that just went into a pond and is laying in on your porch in 100-degree heat. Like, oh, that's pretty good.
So it's not ready yet, or is it always going to smell like that?
That's always going to smell that.
Oh.
Like what you're smelling
Fantastic.
is like the putrefaction of the fat and other and the protein as well, but I think mostly the fat. And the TSPX we used has 2 different cultures. One is a Staphylococcus, and that one is aimed at creating aroma, creating flavors. It does this by breaking down lipids and another word I can't think of at the time.
Oh, you had it. This whole paragraph was just filled with awesome words. Very hard to say, like things you only say 6 times a year, maybe. And he wasn't fumbling, and then boom, forgot it.
And then the other one is a culture that's designed at keeping it food safe. So basically, we already achieved the pH drop we needed within the allotted amount of time. We monitored that. Now we're just waiting for it to develop more and dry out more. All right. So, do we have anything else we want to talk about as far as food before we move on?
Oh, man. I could go all day.
Just that I didn't talk during the last 5 minutes because I've just been shoveling food in my mouth the entire time.
So make it up.
I'm still hooked on the Hawaiian heat sausage. It's
very good.
Amazing. If there's so Josh will actually be sending out an email. We're going to try to get rid of the rest of that, but tell all employees $5 a deal. If he hasn't sent that out by the time this is done, I'm going to go back there and I'm going to grab a handful first.
Like, I need these.
Yeah.
Can't have everybody having these. One more kind of food thing. During tomorrow's Friday's live stream, which will be the same day this is released, I'm going to bring in some of my deer jerky. I have 2 flavors, bold and teriyaki.
Did you roll stock that?
Yeah. Adam wanted to test the roll stock machine, and that's what we had at the time. So my entire deer is roll stocked.
Really?
Yeah. And I can find much deer jerky like this. But I've still got a okay amount of it, and I had a bag of it in here, and I was starving yesterday. It was the teriyaki, and I'm not usually that big a teriyaki guy, but I ate some of it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's good for deer jerky. So I figured I'd share that, and we'll draw either one winner for both, a package of both, or 2 winners, and first person can choose which one they want. So make sure you're at our live stream, waltons.com/live, 3 p.m., same day this is released. Okay. All right, moving on. We've got something I'm going to start trying to do, which is call out users who have new and active users who have hit their first 100 posts on Meatgisitcs. We've got Ski Bum Ben has hit 100 posts. WV Hunter, so West Virginia Hunter 1965, who's been on a lot of live streams recently. Hit 100. Keened Zero hit 100, and Mike. And every time I read that, all I can think of is that awesome Camel commercial. Mike.
Guess what day it is?
Guess what day it is? All right, and then coming up really shortly, we've already uploaded a video on the Walton's Smoker Soaker. That is the humidity towel. And it already has 2 reviews, and they were both 5 stars. The problem is when you go to if you go to the smoker accessories, you see the 2 reviews, but you click on it and we're still having that problem with TrustSpot. So I can't read what the reviews say. So I'm annoyed. But
great.
So that is the humidity towel that you can use to increase the humidity in your smoker. Increased humidity in your smoker is going to help you cook faster. It's going to give you less fluctuation. The internal temp won't go as high or as low. The internal temp of your smoker, sorry. And it's going to keep everything more moist. It's going to prevent drying out. You won't have to worry as much about, oh, wow. My brain just went totally dead there. Where the outside...
Case hardening?
Case hardening. Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know why my brain.
I don't think I was going to be able to get that. But yeah, so we've got that video that should be coming out probably around Friday. The jambalaya brat, Patrick is working on that. We shot everything when I made those 50 pounds of jambalaya brat, which was the winner, the number 1 voted sausage seasoning for Bratfest. The only one I made. And
Wait, hold on. By how many votes, though?
oh, it doesn't matter.
By one vote.
It was the
That's
winner.
the story, and he's not even talking about
It was the winner.
a
So that's all that
single
matters.
vote. Yeah.
And then we've also got a video coming out that we're going to put on YouTube and do some Google ads on it. It is a breakdown of what we're doing with our dual speed stuffers and the mystery gift box you get with them now. So right now, if you buy any of the dual speed stuffers, you are going to get a Walton's digital thermometer. You're going to get a set of suction cup feet, and you're going to get the stuffer flusher eggs. Then you're also going to get one of 3 of a box of Walton's gloves, a plastic or stainless steel injector. So you're going to get one of those 3. And then you're also going to get one of 4 Walton seasonings. It will be either the Walton's Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub, the Zesty Mojo seasoning. I said it correctly. Or the Walton's and BHA, Kansas BHA, sweet and sassy garlic pepper, or wild game seasoning.
I keep having more and more people talk about the sweet and sassy and just how good it is.
Mhm.
That I feel like is one of the most underappreciated seasoning shakers that we sell.
It manages to, like, yes, it's got pepper in it. Obviously, it's in the name. But it's the garlic that provides the heat in that. I don't exactly know how that is, but it is. Like, as I can feel heat on my tongue after I eat something with that. I'm like, like that garlic is spicy. So, yeah, it's a very good seasoning. Okay. We've done that. We're going to have Deer Creek Jones. I can't think of his name. He gave us some paddlefish. We're going to have him on the podcast in maybe next week to try this, if I can get back in touch with him.
So he's going to
emailed
be
me.
in-house?
He's going to be in-house.
Sweet.
And that's a 2-hour drive for him. So,
Oh, yeah.
so we'll have that for him. We'll have some paddlefish. We'll try that. We'll talk to him about what it's like getting those things, because they are prehistoric looking animals. I mean, they are, and they're big. And those paddlefish are huge. And then we'll talk a little bit about what you specifically do to process those correctly. All right, we're getting really close to hunting season, right around the corner. I made a blog post today that was the results of the poll we put on Meatgisitcs that said, what are the best seasonings to use for X, Y, and Z? So you can go to our blog section to check that out. But kind of springing this on you, because I don't think you looked at it ahead. What do you think for a big game hunter? What is the most important piece of equipment?
Oh, it depends. What do you want to do?
Gun. It's got to be
Is
a
it-
gun.
Meat processing equipment.
If it is you have nothing and you need one piece of equipment to process, I mean, it's got to be. I mean, in theory, it's got to be a grinder.
All right. So if you have nothing and you're looking to process, this month's giveaway at waltons.com/win. Did you see how I did that? That's professional.
Finally. He's
Is
hosting.
a grinder, a stuffer, and a vacuum sealer.
Nice.
Now it's the kitchen little 8 number grinder, but it'll get you through a season.
You're not. Yeah. Don't try to grind 500 pounds through the thing all at once, but you do it in batches, and you're going to be totally fine.
Yep. Make sure you put meat back in the fridge in between. And I don't know if I'd recommend trying to grind through a 1/8 plate with that. You might want to stick to some chunkier sausages.
Yeah. To be honest, we'll see. This is right before we went on air. I told you, like, if it was up to me, I would have every kitchen appliance known to man in my kitchen. I would love to have like a little number 8 in my kitchen, because I would, even with everything we have here and everything we can do, I would still have one at home just to fresh grind hamburger and pork butts when I'm doing, like, just making a meal of something. Even just like I'm doing breakfast, I'd fresh grind pork sausage, put in my breakfast sausage seasoning, and make stuff right then and there. So much better. But that's something I have to talk my wife into, which is not not going to happen. But even if anything else, you just keep a small grinder like that in the kitchen for your impromptu stuff like that.
Sorry, I kept trying to break in and I eventually just ate.
So
I'm doing a carnivore diet again.
mhm.
So I got sick of being fatter than Austin. So I've been fasting to dinner or trying like around then most nights. And initially, like the first week, I ate all I was eating was meat, period. And I would eat a steak and another protein. So that was like chicken some nights, it was pork some nights, but it was like only steak. And 2 or 3 nights ago, I had a steak and I was just like, do I really want to cook this other steak? And I even thought, I'm like, if I had a grinder here, I would 100% grind this and eat it tartare with just some Walton's Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub on it. Wow. But I didn't because I didn't have a grinder.
Well, there you go.
But if you do have a grinder and you have what you know is a nice clean piece of steak, sanitize everything,
man,
tartare.
Dude,
It's
all
good.
All it took was one time for him to eat raw meat, and now he's all about it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm all about it.
Well,
I don't bring it up all the time.
Well, okay, sure. But this is like an extreme, I'm just going to eat raw. You know what? If I had a grinder, I'm just going to eat this steak raw. Like that thought alone might be considered extreme to some people who've never eaten, you know.
I mean, you could make the argument that this is raw.
Ooh, man, when he's fighting
It's not
facts
thermally
with facts,
processed.
what are you going to do?
No, but it has gone through a change.
Do you want
that
any more of
is-
this? Because I cannot stop eating the jerky.
No, I gotta stop. I am
All right,
getting
sorry,
full.
Go ahead.
And I would like to be able to eat dinner. in
See what
2
he does?
hours.
See, you were about to make several great points, and then he interrupted with food, and he couldn't even get going.
He knows me too
No
well.
steam.
With everything you're doing on like your diet and your eating and raw food, I just have a vision of you like 5 years from now turning into like the Liver King guy.
Hey, yeah. One of the reasons I went to the doctor is because I wanted my testosterone checked, hoping that it would be low
So you had
so
a
that I could
reason.
get on TRT. Like I was begging for it to be low. They came back and they're on the upper edge of normal for my age. And our doctor, who's the same, was uninterested in having the conversation that maybe it was low because this and it could be higher. It was like, no, you're
No,
fine.
Come on. Give me the juice.
I was
man.
really wanting it. So bad. Get back knee again. and
But
just
you're the only
muscles
guy.
bulging
Like,
everywhere.
they tell me like, it's normal. You go, damn her.
No, it was supposed to be low.
I mean, that's fine.
Can we
cool.
test it again next month?
Yeah, maybe. Hold on. I wasn't feeling.
Just eat a bunch of soy. All right. And I have Tyler Webster written down here. So Tyler Webster does the Birds, Booze, and Buds podcast, and we advertise with him. And I cannot remember why I wrote his name down. Oh, I don't know why I would have written his name down. I talked to him yesterday or a couple days ago, Sunday, I think. Tuesday, I sent him out another chambered vacuum sealer, and then we're going to take it off renewal for next year. So
Cool.
I guess maybe that's why I did it. I don't know.
I don't know.
You were just on the phone with them and couldn't help.
But I was on the phone with my mom. He called, and I was like, oh, what's he calling? So I'll call you back.
Mom, hold on. My buddy's
You
on the
hung
phone.
up on your mom.
Yeah, this is work.
Mom,
But then
see you later.
Travis Frank called a couple of days before. I'm like, it's kind of odd that these people with their own TV shows like have my,
Oh, for
it's
sure.
just a weird thing.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I don't totally get it.
Oh, it's the best when we're at like a booth or something, and like I don't know them, they don't know me, but I'm like, I know you're kind of famous, and you have to kind of play the game a little bit. I'm just like, come on, bud, what channel you on again? What's going on? Just try to be a fan, but also stay professional, but have some fun with it. No, those guys are a blast, though.
I should go through and count up how many views you have overall. Because one could say that you're a mini celebrity with the amount of views. That
I
you
One
saw
could
have.
not say
our
that.
YouTube channel. I know the combined views of every video. It's almost 4.5 million. Isn't that sweet?
What percentage do you think are videos that you're in versus I'm in?
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know.
3 to 1?
Which way?
I'm in so many more of them than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
anymore, I'm
his
not.
early ones though had hundreds of thousands on some of them because
His one that's over 100,000. That's it.
Do I have the top video still?
What do you mean still? It's been years since you had the top.
No.
Pepperoni overtook you so long ago.
No way.
Yes, it did. Now, having said that, I have not checked who's in first, and it's really close. So I probably shouldn't be this cocky.
I should get like
fact, I
my
definitely shouldn't
two
do this
college
now.
encasings videos should be put together as one.
No, it's 160,000 Oh wow, it's within 1,000.
Oh yeah, I win then because I did a set. That is a replacement video for the other one. So you put the two together because it's technically one video.
Why is this a replacement video for that? What happened?
Because the first one sucked.
Oh.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was on. Well, it didn't suck. It was just different background, different thing. It was one of the first videos I did.
Why doesn't Austin just cut a new video and I'll update it? You could just do it here.
Yeah, but you start from zero again.
Oh,
Like you can't put it over the old video.
Just,
Yeah.
Well, you guys, why don't you guys do the same?
I can't believe how close we are.
Ooh, that would be.
You
a
guys
blast.
do the same video, not necessarily the same script, but it's like the same length and it has the same intro and outro.
that's
And
awesome.
then we see which one does the
Yeah,
best.
100%.
That'd be cool.
I'd so win because I could talk. I would talk faster and people would stay more engaged.
He's going to cheat
You
by
have creative final edit too. So if you want something somewhere or something changed around,
I have created
I just
final
let
edit
you
over
do
his
that.
as well.
No, I just let Patrick do it.
for sure.
It took me a while having some creative people underneath me to not try to give my input. Because in the end, whatever they come up with, like, there's nothing against you, Patrick.
No, for sure.
But specifically with Pat, like the less input I give him, the better the finished product is going to be. Because he has better, he has a better grasp on what he's doing.
Taint his
Exactly.
natural
Exactly.
what he's going to go for.
And with this, at least I'm like firmly involved in the creation of what we're doing. So I have some ideas. But with that, I'm just like, hey, Pat, I need it to say this. And he's like, okay, what do you want? So I'm like, nope.
John
call
had to
it.
stop because like we couldn't make everything gray. Like that's well, hold on. If we could just
Well, we put a
let's
little
make it
gray back there.
Let's make
Yeah,
it gray.
I did like gray. Do
Yeah.
you remember a gray backdrop?
Oh,
That we like stretched out over the metal studs.
Dude,
See,
hated
If
that.
we could go back and film those things, like film what we used to like jury rig stuff to put things together, that would be great behind the scenes content.
You should. Oh my gosh, I can't do videos. Like I'm not on these type of things. Okay, I can just talk to the camera about whatever. But when I first did videos by myself, I cannot by myself talk to the camera. So I had I had a teleprompter.
Yep.
When I first started doing it, Allie and we made like 4 teleprompters probably, and they were some serious works of art.
Oh yeah.
I wish I still had some of those around.
Oh, that's most of it, and I still have the hood, I think, back up there.
No. That's a commercial production teleprompter.
So those okay.
Oh no!
I thought that one was janked together too.
no. That one's very nice compared to what I've made.
We got
I-
there's some we used to do bloopers a little bit, but like I said, since we stopped using the teleprompter, there wasn't a lot of bloops anymore. And if they were, they just were too extreme probably. So
Yeah, I
The
punched.
very first teleprompter I made was like from the scrap wood section at Menards.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Then when we finally got fancy with it, we bought like the clear acrylic stuff and finagled our own thing off of it. That's interesting because you think, oh, you ought to be able to like drill through acrylic and do different things, and it's particular.
It doesn't like to be drilled
doesn't.
through.
It doesn't. No, not the way I was doing it. But I made a teleprompter that.
Speaking
worked.
of that, okay, so your really early stuff. I know that somewhere there are first attempts at things that you have said will never see the light of day. Have you changed your mind on that? Because
do you know where they exist?
I have no idea where they
Oh.
exist. You said you still have them. This is
I
like
don't know.
5 years ago. You said you still have them, but you don't ever want them shown. Now that we're 5 years past that, and we have a more engaged audience who I think would get a kick out of seeing some, they're laughing at you, but they're more also laughing with you.
No, it'd be a laughing at. It was bad. I don't know. If I could find it, I'd have to watch it and reconsider.
So if I can find it, I'm good to just release it.
No.
Cut.
So the way you know what it is it would be in the classroom. We first started shooting videos in the
Oh,
classroom.
really?
So those 3 desks at the front,
Uh-huh.
those are all on casters. Those can move. So they used to be down the empty space in the classroom. Those were all there because it was a lab basically.
Okay.
And so we took those off of the floor, set them over, put them all on casters, and then I would wheel one over, use that to shoot on. Had the wood background thing.
Which he loves.
Really?
I thought every time I looked, I was like, what room is that in? Where's that at? Why are we not in there? Like, that looks perfect to start and just add a little bit more light to it. I thought it was a little dim, so it made the camera work a little bit overtime. And yeah, no, I thought it was a great use of space. And then what he said, it was just like a wood crate in front of the window next door.
Yep.
And then, yeah, it blew my mind that I was in the same room as that every day and didn't realize it.
I liked the look of it, but the issue was like Allie and I didn't know what we were doing with lighting or anything or editing. I mean, so every video looked different and it made us look very unprofessional in my opinion, because we couldn't ever repeat the same thing. We would always have a different shade of wood. Yeah. And so
you're like, what's happening?
We got rid of it because I wanted something more uniform.
Yeah.
So, but the look is cool. We just couldn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't.
No, I get that. That was my initial struggle when I first came here, because it wasn't really all just set up and stuff, because we'd break it down and do this. And I'm like, hold on, until you really get what settings you want to use for what situation. And then as long as the color was white balance and no one ever touch it again kind of thing. But
the one thing that annoys me on how we did things is we should have waited until this kitchen was totally done before we started Meatgisitcs University.
We filmed
all those videos or early ones are shot over there.
But then you think like some of our early stuff here still had what I think was like similar problems as far as like just exposure and but not enough stuff on the background, not enough like foreground. Like it
very
was very
boring back there.
It looked like we were in mid construction kind of. So,
oh, I got to turn that light off. Remind me of that. Oh, I'll do it now so that we can all smell it.
Oh, wait, does it hit you
Smell
that far away?
The stinky feet.
He got a full whiff of that. I think he's
coming that way, Patrick. Don't even worry about it.
He's got this very tasteful, like I love that right there. Because like before, we'd always try to put some other piece of machine and it would like tilt kind of.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
And it's not the product that's tilted. It is the
countertop.
The countertop is sagging.
Yeah, for sure. Who'd have thought putting hundreds of pounds of equipment up there?
Should be fine. Should be fine on inexpensive.
Yeah, you can't see it on video, but it keeps going for like another 10 feet or so.
You said I could have all granite in our new place, right?
So I'm still the video king because I have 2 of the top 3 episodes or videos, whatever, on YouTube.
It's just how far do you want to extend it? Because I have 7 of the top 10.
Okay, but maybe we should count up all the views on all of them.
Okay. Who are we going to have go through?
Oh my goodness, we have to halt everything right now. He
has forgotten something.
Yep, forgot something. But you and I, we get betting on things at different times. Well, we forgot to finalize a bet, and we have a problem.
What?
Because something already started, but we need to have a bet on this. Because for whatever reason, stupid Irish think that week 0 is a thing in college football. So you guys already played. Unfortunately, you won, but I don't know if you really even played a team. You played Navy. I mean, come on. So we need to have a bet for college football. K-State, Notre Dame. Who ends up higher? Are we going in the college football playoff rankings? I would assume.
Isn't that what we did last year? Because it's the only one that matters anymore, really.
Yeah. So going into basically bowl season and playoffs, who's the highest CFP ranking?
No. It has to be like final, not going into. After the.
No, this last year we did going into. So after like conference championships were over, if you were in a conference.
No. Final rankings.
Final rankings. Then
it
can't be CFP then, because it would have to be AP. CFP doesn't come out with a final poll.
What?
They don't, do they? They care about ranking is to see who gets in the college football playoff.
I mean, you know more about college football than I do, so that would. Does CFP?
So what's the prize this year?
That's what we're trying to come up with. Yes, CFP. In addition to the 4 teams selected for the playoffs, the final CFP rankings are used to determine participants. Oh, no, so that is before. All right, whatever. We'll use the final rankings, which will be before the games.
Okay, so final CFP rankings.
Final CFP rankings.
Okay.
All right, so what is the bet? Do you have any ideas?
I don't know. Is it?
If you win, you can have my dogs.
No. You can have my dog for free.
Yeah. He's going to root against his team. Perfect.
What is a good bet? What did we do? What was last year? I don't remember. I lost. Oh, I had to eat mashed potatoes.
That was the bet. Yeah. Should it be another similar thing?
What was yours?
Wouldn't be mashed potatoes. Like, I don't remember. I have to do something I don't like. You have to do something you don't like.
The loser has to eat 3 live hissing cockroaches.
No, that's too far.
He's willing to eat hissing cockroaches.
I'm very confident.
How many have you eaten before?
0.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm very confident in Notre Dame, not my ability to eat.
I don't want to turn this into Fear Factor.
Yeah.
You didn't even eat your whole plate full of potatoes.
Because they were disgusting.
Do you have to do something? What if you just buy something? I want to start seeing some custom jerseys around here.
What, like, I have to buy Austin a Kansas State jersey?
I don't know.
That doesn't sound
It
very
could be
fun.
good because jerseys are expensive.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun. I don't want to do that.
See?
All right, well, we'll
No
think
one
of
wants to
something
do it. Perfect.
in the posts.
We are at least going to, we have a plan
We
to
have a bet. We have a bet.
Okay.
So in the post on this, on Meatgisitcs, please leave some ideas on what we could bet with. Food bets are fine. Austin does not want to do vegan again.
No, not doing that. That has to be something more personal, like a personal wager that like we are in control of entirely, because going vegan for a week was literal hell.
Okay, so just give us some other ideas. We'll try and figure it out. All right. Going back to Meat Matters, trying to get this podcast a little bit back on track.
We're like 40 minutes in and we haven't talked about Meat Matters yet.
If that's fine. Usually it's right around the 30-minute mark that we normally. I
Okay.
think we're more than 40 minutes in, though, because I think we started early.
We might have.
Yeah. All right. First story is one of my favorites of all time. It's from cake.com. Dynamite in car turns out to be a beef stick.
This was even in Kansas, too.
Is there a fuse? Like,
Greensburg.
What are they talking about?
First responders in southwest Kansas were called to the report of an explosive in a car, only to find it was nothing but a beefy snack. The incident happened at 4:45 p.m. Wednesday when Greensburg police and firefighters in Kiowa County deputies responded to what was reported to be a stick of dynamite attached to the dash of a vehicle. Upon units arriving and securing there, it was discovered that the item in question was a beef stick, still in its wrapper.
Still in its wrapper?
So it's still in its wrapper. It's not like somebody just had it out there and like, oh, is that, maybe it was like a 21 millimeter. Nope, just in its wrapper. Somebody's an idiot or had a vendetta.
So it looks like
against
he
had a beef against this
looks
person.
like he had just purchased dynamite and it's like still in like a wrapper. What is this?
I don't think you
talking
can just
about?
go purchase
No, that's
dynamite.
what I mean. Like, what did he think?
That's possible.
Like, why would it come plastic wrapped? Like, hold on, hon, you got the scissors? I got to open up the I got dynamite.
Oh, my goodness.
But very, very funny story. Okay. Moving on. The potentially life-threatening health scare on the rise in Virginia's Department of Health CDC issues warning. This is from Fox News. And I'm really just bringing this up because it is alpha-gal. It appears as if what we've been talking about for, boy, I wish we could go back and find the oldest one where we talk about alpha-gal.
we probably can search our notes.
Probably could. But they are finally talking about it on the mainstream media now. So you probably will hear more about it. You can be the informed friend at your next. Do people still have like fondue parties?
Was that ever a thing? Where have I been my whole
It
life?
definitely was a thing at one point. Like in the 70s, people would get together and do fondue.
I've never heard of a fondue party.
Oh, really?
Can we have a fondue party?
We can
sometime?
100% have. I love fondue.
I love cheese, so I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Fondue cheese is like the mix of most of my favorite cheeses.
We're all
Okay, can
about
we
that.
get this
Swiss.
set up for like the live stream?
Sure.
on
100%.
Friday?
I have a
You got a set, don't you?
yeah, I have a fondue set.
Okay, we're doing fondue. Heck yeah.
I'm super excited.
What's the
I'm
heating
pumped.
element?
You got to
on
remind
yours?
me. Ours is a plug-in.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Awesome.
We're so jazzed. To
I don't even care about this for the rest of this podcast.
What different?
All I'm
cheese-
thinking
yeah,
about now is
What are
fondue
the?
cheese.
What are the? Okay. Oh, well, I meant like that's just what it's called. There's not alternatives.
So you
of-
can buy like a pre-mixed fondue cheese, which is the easiest way to do it. And just being honest, it often comes out the best because
they know what they're doing.
they put something in it that almost makes it not congeal as much.
Do I need to have my wife make some sourdough bread for
Oh
dippers?
my God, that would be amazing.
I always
I got
have her try and get like a little bit more of a crust on it than she normally would.
Okay.
I don't know if sourdough, whatever.
We'll just
Okay.
get a
Either
butane torch and we'll do it ourselves. That'd be cool. Creme brulee would go. Pew, pew.
You could do that.
But then like I always thought the cheeses were like it had like I thought fondue just meant it was just melted cheese in the middle. You're telling me there's an actual fondue.
Well,
cheese
there's a specific there's specific cheeses or mix of cheeses that you're supposed to use. Whether or not it's like this has to be this for that. It's usually where is it? Fribourg, yay.
What?
Yeah, it's also no thanks. No thanks. Okay, hold on a second. Fribourg, yeah.
we could have a whole segment on
I am
John.
French, so
I'm just trying to say words.
I probably nailed that because I'm
No,
French.
I'm
That's probably exactly how you say it.
Oh my gosh.
Please.
All right, make my own fondue.
Are we saying fondue right? Now it's like, I don't
We're
even trust that.
Saying it how I've always said it.
Fondue.
But all right, where are the mixes of cheeses? Because it's like Gruyere,
Gouda.
which is already a Swiss.
How do we know we're saying Gruyere? Come on. I don't trust a single word coming out of your mouth.
Oh, this is super annoying.
Well, were you on Bing? That's probably what it was.
Comté, Emmentaler. It's a variety of Swiss cheese. Gruyere, raclette, and Vacherin.
Man, I would have thought Gruyere would have been like one of the hardest ones to say on that list. And no, I would.
I've said it tons of times before.
Well, I mean, just forget the other ones you said. I don't think I've ever heard out loud before. I feel like you just cast a spell on this.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean, that I honestly might have been reading something that wasn't even a cheese for all I know.
Necronomicon you're reading over there.
Clatu, Verata.
Oh, boy.
All right, this one is from RTE. It says EPA deletes eat less meat tweet following IFA objection. So this is from the article.
Are you kidding me? I didn't see that. That is horrible.
I just moved everything badly. Okay, good. Got it back. A tweet advocating consumers cut back on red meat consumption has been deleted by the Environmental Protection Agency following objections from the Irish Farmers Association. The tweet posted yesterday by EPA's X account, formerly Twitter, urged consumers to try veggie recipes and reduce your red meat consumption slowly. Veggie lunches, meat-free Mondays, etc. The tweet also pointed out that about 10% of meat that is bought is thrown out. Following a complaint from the IFA, the EPA responded to the farming organizations saying that it was in intention to share helpful advice, not to cause anger, but acknowledge it may have perceived it differently. Now, I did the exact same thing.
That is such BS.
Right?
That just is to load.
Go ahead.
As soon as, you hear a stat like, well, 10% of meat is thrown out. Well, yeah, what percent of veggies and fruit is thrown out? So this is from like an .org website.
Sure.
So not a commercialized place. 52%. 52%.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
We've all been there. You go, oh, yeah, I forgot I had lettuce in the fridge.
And now it's like this disgusting blob.
Yeah.
It melts down to almost water.
Or stuff that you think is fresh for a couple. I mean, we've all bought a tomato and 2 days later you go, that's mold.
How's it bad?
What's going on?
The UN estimates that nearly half of all fruits and veggies produced worldwide are wasted each year. In the United States alone, nearly 30% of all food, worth approximately $48.3 billion, is thrown away.
Yeah, I'd say meat is probably
On the very low end of that.
the best thing out there. Yeah.
Yep. So the fact that they thought they could use that as a cudgel, well, they must have known that half of all the fruits and veggies,
Oh, yeah.
and they weren't going to get called out on it.
Yeah, but twist the facts to fit your narrative.
Yeah.
Well, and then
Our EPA is a very corrupt
well,
organization.
think about all the food that is being eaten that has gone beyond spoil date. That's, once again, vegetables would lead the rise on that opposed to
Sure.
meat. So,
Yep. They cause more foodborne illness every year, too. All right. June meat report data, positive for both beef and pork. This is Iowa Agri-Business Week, or Business Radio, sorry. U.S. pork exports concluded an excellent first half with another strong performance in June, according to data released by the USDA and compiled by the U.S. Meat Export Federation. While well below the record pace established in 2022, June beef exports topped $900 million in value, pushing first half export value to nearly $5 billion. USMEF President and CEO Dan Holstrom said that while the growth in pork sales is led by Mexico, a number of regions are contributing to strong exports. For the first 6 months, we're up 14% on volume and up 12% on value. And the real star of the show continues to be Mexico, up 14% off of last year, by far a record. So Mexico is buying a bunch of our beef and pork. Good for them, but I mean, we're already worried about low cattle availability. I would like to see a little bit less emphasis on exporting, unless we're talking about things, there are cuts I'm sure that they want that Americans just don't.
I'm sure that's a good portion of it. There's a lot of what's being exported are the cuts that we don't particularly prefer here in the States. But if I got some face, would you eat some face?
What?
Nope.
Not human. Like cattle.
I'd rather just eat something that's I know is going to be good.
Eat face.
My wife is trying to get us to eat more like organ meat and stuff, and I'm just like, but why? Like I don't I know eating beef liver is going to be great for you.
Yeah.
But I'd rather just eat a steak or a hamburger. Like I'm on a huge hamburger kick right now. I eat hamburgers like every single day, every meal.
Are you using patty mixes?
No.
Do you always have cheese?
I would.
How embarrassing is that's almost as bad as when you said you'd rather have cheese than meat.
To be honest, most of the burgers I'm just doing topicals, or I go to Walnut Valley and get their grizzly burgers, and they have stuff inside it. Yep. So, I just why do I want to eat liver when it just to me it doesn't taste near as good as all my other options? I'm just going to buy the other stuff.
It's the exact opposite of not tasting near as good. It tastes bad. It's something you eat for the health benefits.
Yeah, which I'm not into.
It's packed with micronutrients, though.
Yeah, I take vitamins every day.
Yeah, your body does not absorb them the same way as it would if you started eating liver.
True.
Okay. Moving on. USDA makes grants available for meat and poultry processors. It's from Rural Development. The USDA is partnering with the New Hampshire Community Loan Fund to make available $123 million in grants to the meat and poultry processing expansion program. The program is part of a series of actions the Biden-Harris administration has taken to promote a fairer, more competitive, and more resilient meat and poultry supply chain. The grant will help independent business build and modernize processing facilities and equipment, adopt new technologies, and train workers, among other activities. Eligible projects may receive grants from $250,000 up to $10 million. Successful applicants must be able to cover 70% of their total project cost. That last little bit. So they're going to give you some money, but you have to be able to, that is just like, hey, if you don't have enough to finish this. You just nodding like, is that how it normally goes?
It depends on what type of grant. Some things are like, here's money for the whole thing. Here, sometimes it's like, hey, here's half, here's this. It depends. But that's the government. Don't make it easier, simple, add a layer of complication to everything.
Like there's plenty of times where I have enough for 70% of the gun I want, but that last 30%, do you think the government would step in and help me out with that?
I think they probably should. That would be the right thing to do.
I would think so. Montana producers confront meat processing backlogs. This is from the Missoulain.com. 3 weeks ago, rancher Angela Campbell was on the verge of shutting down her retail meat business after confronting what's been a consistent obstacle since starting, meat processing. While Angela has the pigs and cows already primed for butchering and the demand was there for the meat itself, the facility she looked at had already wait lists scheduled through December. As her last reserves of packed meat her family sells at local markets and to subscribers dwindled, she luckily found a place roughly 90 miles away in Helena that was able to squeeze in some of her livestock. It was one of those situations where it's like the animals are ready, Angela said, gesturing to the herd of roughly 35 red Hereford cows grazing at a 6th-generation Old Medicine Ranch. but it's finding the butcher that's continually been our biggest challenge. I mean, how far? It's 4 months away. That's nothing compared to what it was, really.
Yeah, that's true. But that, to be honest, that's kind of been like the story for a long time.
Yeah.
That's why so many new meat processors have opened up over the past 3 years. And to be honest, there was actually a meat processor, not like close to us, but I don't know, kind of close to us, not like across the country. That I didn't know. Customer of ours, was talking to Dylan the other day, and he said, "Oh yeah, they were bought out by so and so because they had like a huge cattle herd, and they were having problems getting their beef in to be processed. So they were just like, meh, we'll go buy this processor. They bought them, and now they process all their own stuff there.
There you go.
It's just it's a common issue among cattle producers is finding someone to process their beef. But hopefully that's not going to continue to be an issue with the increased production availability amongst all the new processors out there. Some of them through their first couple years also were like saying like, hey, I'm only going to do this. Because everyone was so busy, they could really pick and choose whatever they wanted to do. A lot of them were like, well, I'm not going to do wild game. And there was a lot of existing guys that were like, I'm no longer doing wild game. There's a lot of those new plants and older existing guys that stopped doing wild game that are becoming more apt to say, yeah, I'm going to do wild game this year now because things have slowed down and people are starting to have more capacity. So they're not just picking and choosing what they want. They're starting to accept more things. So hopefully give it still some more time here, but the whole market will hopefully start to just kind of ease out and be easier to get.
Well, a couple of things on that. The reason it would be easing out, at least in part, is because the drop in the beef supply herd.
Yeah.
So that's not a good thing. That makes me angry and scared. Then I wonder how many people in the last 2 or 3 years who usually drop their deer off at a local processing plant couldn't find anyone to do it, so they decided to do it themselves, bought a grinder, bought a mixer, bought a stuffer, and now they're just like, no, I'm not going back to that. I'm doing this myself now. I like what I get better. I don't know about that last part. So
it depends. Some people have different reasons for the quote unquote better because some people don't like taking to a processor because they don't get their deer back. Most processors
don't. Some do.
Yeah.
Some do, but
the ones
don't.
that do, to be honest, in my opinion, it's crazy. The amount of work and everything that goes into it, it's almost unreasonable. So that's why you get just a generic amount of deer back.
Right.
It's a lot more efficient. But if you want to know exactly what yours is, what it goes through, do it at home.
Yeah. Yep. And you also get the pride then of saying, I did this myself. So, I mean, I guess you could get the pride of, hey, I paid somebody else to do this. Just the cost of basic fertilizer, hay, the things it takes to take care of animals, that's going up substantially too. So I find people to be in the position where they can't really afford to have the cattle anymore. They need those processes. They can't afford to feed them. So there we go. It's back to, but that was just last year that we had all those people selling off their cattle. So that's still going on.
It'd take a couple years for things to get back to normal.
Makes me sad. All right. You want to talk about this one since I can't see it?
Yep. I put a new link in there if you want to open it up too. But this one from Kansas.com. Kansas lets hunters bait deer. Most states don't. I don't know that that's entirely accurate, but a disease might make Kansas change. So this is kind of a scary article because a lot of people in Kansas, in their deer hunting, they set out feeders, and they are attracting deer that way. This new proposed law would basically ban that across the entire state, all because of the
chronic wasting disease.
The fear of issues with chronic wasting disease, which is an issue in like Northwest Kansas. They estimate that like a third of deer,
that's a lot,
or of young deer are infected with it. But as you get towards like the eastern and southeastern part of Kansas, like central to eastern Kansas is 1 to 4%, or eastern Kansas 1%.
Okay.
So we're talking very small numbers, but out west it is a big deal. In theory, it's probably going to move. I mean, you would think, but it's also been a very slow process over the past 30 years that we've started seeing CWD numbers rise and rise and rise. So it's not like an overnight thing, but my hope is that they come up with some other solution for managing CWD than saying, "Hey, no more deer feeders," because that's gonna really hurt, if not kill, a number of outfitters and hunting lodges that they bring in people from out of state who are going to come in and they're going to spend $10,000 to go deer hunt. And that's money that comes into the state. And in theory, I mean, some of that money goes to the person and they just keep it, but that person's probably going to spend it then. So it's money coming out of the state to in. The greatest type of flow of cash for our state is from a outside to stuff on the inside. So it's a great, it's a great money-making thing for tons of people in the state. And I'd hate to see like that just like boom, fall off a cliff.
Did they say why they think corn or any feedlot or feeder might be responsible for the...
So instead of deer going to like a cornfield and just eating what they find, or wherever they're finding food, they're out scavenging for whatever, they would normally go kind of by themselves, or if they were together, they would still be away from each other because you're not going to be eating the same exact thing right there. Whereas a feeder, everything is coming to this very fine, centrally located spot, and then they're going to the bathroom, poop and pee on the food and around, and then that's how the next deer comes and eats the food that they've pooped and peed on, and now they get infected. So,
okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, they're communal animals anyways, so I don't think that it's going to change the spread of it. What they would need to do, at least in my opinion, to be able to prove that this is even worth considering, would to look at other states that have already had this, and did it spread much or significantly worse in states that allowed feeders versus states that did not. Because my understanding is the biggest spreader of this is it's a certain type of fly. It's a certain type of biting fly that transmits it most oftenly. So if we have that fly here, which I'm sure we do, then what are we talking about? Like, what's the difference in allowing feeders or not? It is spreading anyways, and what we need to do is be better at killing all the infected animals earlier on.
Yeah, it'd be great if we could come up with a way to identify what ones are infected, and we have a massive culling project.
Yeah.
And say, hey, you go find this deer, go take it out.
Kill as many deer as you want. All year round.
It'd be great.
That would be fun.
But
I'd buy extra freezers. Many of them.
Well, the point is they don't want you to eat it.
I'm eating it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Technically, they haven't found anything that affects humans off of CWD, but because it's a sister disease to mad cow disease.
Yeah.
It's scary because if it does
end up freaking out about
crossing over, it would be a very deadly thing.
Get the shakes.
Yeah. So I don't know. Right now, it's just one of those things that, it's probably actually not causing a problem, but what if it did? If it did, it'd be a big thing. You would still eat it.
I'd have so many deer steaks. Also, that would then, my whole end of the world stuff, I'm set up for that. So,
did you put that 2-year-old freezer burned beef in your freezer?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Do you have any plan to actually use it?
I've already used it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've already used a full one of those 10-pound tubes.
Was it okay?
Yeah. Flavor was fine. Texture, a little bit off maybe, and the fat didn't taste quite as good. So I guess I can't say flavor was fine, but yeah, no, it was fine.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with All right. A neighbor hit my. You know what? I'm going to save this one for next one because it's long and we're already running over. But basically, a neighbor hit this guy's car and lied about it, or he says he lied about it. So this guy intentionally ruined 300 pounds of his meat.
That's rough.
And then this guy thinks he's the good guy. So, but we'll talk about that later. Mom's huge meat haul makes case for Costco membership. She has a picture of all the meat that she got, and she got it all for $43. It was 2 cooked cold chicken, 300 grams, 6 raw chicken breasts, 7 500-gram packages of minced beef. So it came out to $4.41 per meal. It was $1.10 per person. Just add pasta and rice, sauce, and veggies. So I don't want to hear people can't afford to eat meat because that is ridiculously affordable.
Oh, it's definitely in what type of meat you buy. Meat can be expensive. Meat can also not be expensive. Depends on what it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, yes. Not, yeah, yes, you are correct.
Or it's how you go about buying it, which, by the way, are you close to needing more beef?
No, I literally just got one.
Yeah, I know, but you eat real fast. You eat a lot.
No.
Okay.
No. Why, are you thinking about putting in for one again?
Yeah, I'm going to get something.
Are you putting in for the first? Oh, it's going to be 6 months.
Yeah.
Till you're ready. So,
but that's the way to do it. You get all your cuts of meat for $4 to $5.
Yep.
A pound instead of paying
a ridiculous amount.
Small for this and then $20 for steak and different things. It just, it's the way to buy your beef.
It definitely is. All right. 800-pound, 14-foot alligator caught in Mississippi breaks harvest record. A lot of leather. Look at the size of that thing.
That is huge.
Right? I mean, 14 foot, anything over 12 foot for a great white is when I start getting scared. 14 foot. I'll take a 10-foot great white. I'm not afraid of that.
No, I would. Well, I don't know. I have more control over on the land, so I'd probably rather take the gator than the shark. I have no control over what happens in the water.
How many estimated sharks are in the ocean? Like ones that could do harm to you? Because I read something today about grizzly bears. How there's an estimated
you saw that? The guys
what did it say, like 1900, something like that. Like
1,800 in the lower 48.
But I don't think that's like guaranteed to have, and then maybe there could be more.
Could be more, yeah.
But that's still that's a manageable number. So
the only sharks that at least I'm afraid of are great whites, tigers, and kind of bulls. Bulls mostly because they could be in freshwater.
Anything in the ocean, I am.
But any 3 of those, if you go up against, you could be in for some trouble.
Go up against. I wouldn't see it coming, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the real.
That's the hard.
I mean, that's what scares me about them. It's not. If I saw one in the water, I'm sure I'd either feel like incredibly odd or very peaceful. I'm like worried about being hit out of nowhere by something.
Sure, 100%. But man, the force of that thing. It would. I feel bad for the shark. Like they could eat anybody, and you're eating me. Rookie move.
Do you want to guess what they estimate for sharks?
Total?
That's
impossible because there's so many small sharks.
Yeah, is it all sharks or something?
Yeah, all sharks.
Yeah. And there are small sharks, like sharp-nosed sharks that
they do nothing.
There's a ridiculous number of them. I don't even have a remote guess. I'll say 400 million.
Okay, so they estimate that at least 1 billion sharks.
Oh!
And it's probably way higher than
Scientists estimate that there are around 100 million sharks killed by humans each year.
What?
Yeah.
Sharks are still abundant, so there could be billions or even hundreds of billions
Who's
of
sharking
sharks.
that hard? Come on.
I don't find 1 billion hard to believe at all.
Hundreds of billions.
What about great whites? Could you ask it great whites?
Yeah, it'll have that.
Or
I will be
bull or
interested to see
tiger.
what it says. Because when I was growing up, like in the late 80s, they're endangered. They won't be around always. And now they're everywhere. Does it have an estimation? They're very hard to track.
I mean, every time it's on the news, we go, "Hey, shark attack!" Like we let everyone in the office know, and that it's increasing each year.
Yep.
Like it's like, "Hey, now the shark!" Hey, like it's almost every other week. If in summer you read some kind of article about it. So
From 2014, they estimate 5,000.
Yeah,
That's
it's way more than
that's
that.
insane. There's
It's
no way it's
way
just
more
that.
than that. That's a stupid
of
low
great
number.
whites, yeah.
All right. Why is mine not here? Or is mine? No, my shark story is better than yours. Austin had a shark story of this guy put a drone up over Southern California and was following people interaction with sharks, how often the person knew the shark was there, how often the person didn't know. But none of the sharks were big. They were all like, mostly 10 foot. That's 10 foot maybe?
It's bigger than a human.
Yeah. But that eats fish. That has not yet graduated to eating mammals.
I don't know.
When they get dangerous to humans is when they go after seals, sea lions, like those are mammals. That when they start going after that as their main food source, that's when they look up and they go, oh, that kind of looks like a seal.
Or it's the crazy ones. What about you? You have this crazy idea in your head that you want to go hunt elk, probably bear.
I don't feel
all
like
kinds of.
elk is a crazy one.
No,
to wanna go hunt.
I'm exaggerating,
Okay.
but you want to hunt animals that are bigger than you. So why would it be an insane thought to just think a shark that is already bigger than a human is like, I normally would go for small fish, but
Okay, that's fair.
this guy looks tasty today.
That's fair. But in general, there's a huge area of Southern California that is like a great white nursery. So they don't tend to hang around. The big ones don't tend to hang around there. They are there. They're for sure there. In fact, I think the largest recorded great white to ever kill somebody was from Southern California.
What's the smallest? And then what if that's the one that kills you? Is the smallest great white kill?
A little
in the
cookie
history?
cutter shark just bites me so many times that I bleed out.
I'm not worried about this, guys. You should not be worried about this shark. I'll demonstrate now. You can hold it near vitals, and it doesn't even do. And then that's where it kills you.
All right, and then mine is from Australia. A 44-year-old man is in serious condition after he was bitten by a great white shark on the state's mid-north coast. Local surfer Toby Begg suffered injuries to both legs and underwent surgery at Port Macquarie base. Update to that, by the way. He is back in surgery again. So this guy might not make it. Paramedics were called to Lighthouse Beach at Port Macquarie at 10 a.m. Police said he was injured at Watanga Rocks. They have ridiculous names back there. And the great white was between 3.8 and 14.2 meters long, so up to about 15 feet. It came back for him multiple times.
Dude.
So it bit him. He was trying to fend it off. It swam away and then came back at him and he was fending it off. And then finally, as he's like, it goes away and comes back again. The next time it went away, he's like, oh, I'm losing a lot of blood. So he starts trying to swim to shore. It doesn't say, generally when you read a story like this, seems like specifically in Australia, people will go out to try and get the person. I think that's unbelievably brave. That's a crazy level of braveness. But it did not say anyone came out to help this guy. It said he made it to shore. So I think they all saw that it came back multiple times for him. And they're like, all right, that thing wants him.
Yeah. So this is probably a bad description question, but I'm asking anyways. So is it like on Finding Nemo when Bruce, I think it's Bruce, the shark, gets that little hint of blood
Smells it.
and goes nuts? So do they think hey, I'm going to go away, but then they're catching so much scent of blood that it's just they're just primally driven. I'm going back because I want more.
So a great white's actually an ambush predator. So that's why there's a couple things. That's why they're white underbelly. So if something's underneath them looking up, it's hard to see. And that's why they have that darker top. So if you look down and it's swimming down, it's harder to see. Because it wants to come up underneath you or whatever it's eating, chomp it, injure it, and then swim around basically until it bleeds out. Right, that's its natural way that it would kill a seal, a sea lion, anything like that. It partly does that because it's that huge head of it. Its whole nose is filled with these things called the ampullae of Lorenzini, and they're jelly filled. You ever have huge, your nose gets real big pores sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It basically has that, and they're all filled with this jelly that's super sensitive to electrical stimulation. So, that's why you often see it bite metal things because it's what is that? But that stuff's also really easy to get injured. Seals have claws. They can rake the shark's nose and really damage it. So that's why it bites and like goes away. I think what happens, and they think what happens, is it bites, starts circling, and then often the person will try and get away. And it's like, no, you're not going anywhere. Crunk, got you again. So I don't think it's like I'm blood maddened. In fact, feeding frenzies with them tend to be like super calm events. Like they think whales, like when a whale carcass, they think that is a major factor in great whites breeding, because they'll go gorge themselves so much that they will be way less aggressive with each other. They just had something where a guy was like swimming around a whale carcass as a great white was feeding. It was a big shark too. The shark didn't want anything to do with him. I was like, got whale blubber here. What do I want with you?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Crazy.
Sorry about that. That gave me a chance to some
It was
shark
entertaining.
knowledge. Yep.
Well, if you stay around this long, you are now a shark expert.
Expert. I am an expert. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgisitcs podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgisitcs.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.